I do not need. You know what I'm saying, man? I am so advanced in my spirituality that I no longer have the need. I just am. I have transcended through hot yoga and homebrewed kombucha. And lots of meditating. Aromatherapy and homeopathic medicine. Crystals. Crystal grids. Yeah, crystal grids are exactly what did it, man.
Hi, my name is Dakota, and you're listening to the Better Ideas podcast. It's been a little bit since I've released an episode, and that's because I've been working on starting a company called Clear Coat Solutions, and it's been taking up a lot of my Saturdays. But Clear Coat Solutions is a company where we do high-end, low-frequency detail and recondition work on cars. So everything from ceramic coatings to shampooing the seats. We tend to focus more on the exterior and, wet sanding, buffing out scratches and polishing and getting your car to look, the way that you want your car to look. That's kind of our main focus. So that's something that has been going on that I'm really excited about, and I'd like to let you guys know if you're in the area and you need any work like that done, then Clear Coat Solutions is something that you could definitely check out, and it's very reasonably priced, and we do a lot of stuff for borderline half the price of what you would get in a professional detailing service, just because we're a small business and we want to do the best work that we can for prices that I would actually pay or could afford. So you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. So that's a cool thing that Jason and I have been trucking along trying to get started, and it's finally starting to come to fruition, and we're starting to get a lot of business, and it's been great. But it's taken away from the podcast a little bit, and I apologize for that. But in the long run, it's going to make it so that I can podcast a lot more freely, because I won't have a set schedule. It'll just be as we do cars, and I might actually be able to sustain an income that way, and that would be freaking awesome. So another cool thing, Sarah and I have made a lot of progress on the van. We are getting to sort of the main construction part right now, and it is coming along great. It's quite the learning experience. I'm sure you guys would know if you've ever learned how to work on any sort of, like car or house or anything like that, because it's kind of both. Yeah, another good thing that's been going on is the Minimalist Meetup group. That will be on June 12th at J&S Coffee at 6:30. I'm going to be out of town, so I unfortunately won't be able to lead this time, but it is such a cool group, and we just sit and have coffee and talk about minimalism and just these concepts and how they can apply to your life, and we just kind of help hold each other accountable in a way of like just encouraging each other to live a simpler and more meaningful life. And if that's something that you guys are interested in, then shoot me a message or join the Minimalist Kansas City group, I believe is what it's called. It's basically a sect from the guys that made the minimalism documentary. They planted all these meetup groups in every city, and the Lawrence one is something that kind of just spawned off of a conversation on the Kansas City page, and I got asked to lead it, and I've really been enjoying that. So if you guys are at all interested, I'd love to see you there. And I think that's all the housekeeping I got for you today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with Will. It's been a while. We should get that out there. It's been a minute, and I apologize again for that. Podcasting is hard to incorporate into like a life where you have to do other stuff. It would be cool if this was a full-time job, but it's not. And
You do have a lot on your plate, I'll say that.
yeah, both of us do. I mean, you work like 12-hour shifts?
Yeah, I'm
every day,
full-time,
and yeah,
you have multiple jobs with your private business and
yeah,
your work.
yeah. there's a lot going on, but which is still why we're entertaining the idea of a weekly show, which would be awesome and a little bit more consistent, but still have guests, just whenever I possibly can. But like lately, I really have been trying to get new guests and reach out, but it's just kind of hard because I'm running out of like the people who are at that top of the list that I knew I could get on. When I first started the podcast, there were so many people where I was like, oh, I'm going to get him. I already know all these people. I already have like hookups for this, or I can get in touch with this person. And now is like getting to the hard part where I feel like we have to build a little bit more of a platform before people who don't know who we are actually want to come on this show, because they're like, oh, these guys have a following, or they have a platform to stand on for me to share whatever I'm doing. That's just kind of how it works.
Man, I think I speak for everyone when I say you don't have to apologize about it. Like, life happens, dude. Everybody has lives. Like,
yeah.
This is something you're passionate about, but life come first in a lot of situations.
Yeah, true.
I get that, but nah, you don't got to apologize for it, man. Just flow with it.
So, one, I guess, cool thing, like I mentioned earlier, is I've been working on doing potentially a crossover episode. I don't want to say too much about it because it's still very much in the works, but we picked a day and it will be next month. Very close to the date of the Best of Lawrence ceremony thing at Abe and Jake's that we are attending.
The 21st?
Yeah, I think so. June 21st. And then and then sometime around there is the idea that we're going to do this crossover with this podcast called Can City Podcast, and I highly recommend that everybody checks them out because they're a Kansas City based podcast. Like literally on their title it says Can City, now with 30% more Kansas City. Like they're just three guys and they're hilarious.
Wait. KCK or KC Mo?
I actually don't know. Actually, I think one of them's from like Overland Park or something, so it'd be Kansas. But I'm not sure. Probably just KC in general. But
you know how I feel about the Missourians.
The Missourians.
Nah. God bless them, man.
Yeah, whatever. It's just a line.
Beautiful state the further east you go. I mean,
yeah.
Apart
Dude,
from
there's
St.
definitely
Louis.
a lot of cool spots. Ooh, that reminds me of another cool thing. Like I was in Springfield not that long ago recording a project with Sweet Ascent, and that'll be out really soon. And I discovered, well, I'm not saying what it is because I don't even know when it's coming out, to be honest. Like, I'm not in that band. I was a fill-in bass player for a thing, and it was cool. And I'm really excited about it.
Hot leaks, folks.
Yeah, there is something cool coming out. Well, their Dear Mom video had to come out first.
Have to wait and see.
The world will be changed forever.
Will it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. Maybe a little bit, technically, right?
Don't set me up for disappointment.
New art into the world is the world changing, right?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Yeah. Then it will be changed forever. By this episode, too. Whoa. No, but yeah, Springfield is pretty cool. So there are parts of Missouri that I enjoy.
A lot of good trucks for sale down there, I've noticed.
A lot of Cummins.
Kind of off the rail.
Because you've been looking.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yes, for whatever reason, like you got a Craigslist and the Lake of the Ozarks in the Springfield area, just lots of fucking gems, just any kind of vehicle. For whatever reason, that area has a large accumulation of private sellers with like some real stellar stuff. It's not like, I don't know.
That makes sense.
Not a lot of Ford Tauruses and
Missouri.
Toyota Camrys, It's like, wow, like where the hell has this thing been? Like,
yeah,
someone's been sitting on it. A lot of old grandpappy trucks and whatnot.
Heck yeah. And when you're trying to buy one, that's cool, I guess.
I've never actually been to the Ozarks. I hear it's a badass place to be.
I don't know if I've been. I don't think I have. Yeah, Missouri. What else, man? We built an e-board last week.
Yeah, that happened.
And it's freaking awesome. It's been a blast to ride. And I already broke it.
You didn't break it. It still works.
Yeah, I broke part of it.
You just hurt it a little bit.
Yeah. But that makes sense. I've been riding regular skateboards for
I
a
like
long
how
time.
it went from like one e-board to like 3 e-boards, and now like building e-boards. Like,
Yeah. Dude, I'm getting kind of obsessed with it. Like,
you get obsessed with a lot of things when
Yeah, I
you're
do.
really into it. That's okay though.
I
You're
do.
just enthusiastic.
yeah. No, I feel like I do that with pretty much everything. It's like once I get into it a little bit, if it's something that really piques my interest, I'm obsessed for a while. But skateboarding, I've always been obsessed with skateboarding. But I'm just so stoked that I have friends that are riding skateboards now that, like, you know, we're kind of interested, but now that it's got a motor and it's like a legitimate form of transportation, and it's like, then it's just an excuse to ride a skateboard, and I love it. Like, I'm sure a lot of skateboarders bag on the whole e-board thing. So they're like, oh, just push, man.
Man,
like,
they're just old school wood pushers.
but I like anything with wheels, really. But like,
Yeah, they're pretty neat, man.
they're so fun. Like, it's so just exhilarating riding that to work. And I feel like I wake up a lot better. I wake up and I'm like, all right, I get to ride my skateboard. Like, I'm excited for that. I haven't been excited to get out of bed in a while to go to work. You know, it's nice.
Wow.
Wow,
That's great.
Yeah,
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling. It's a good thing to notice that and
Yeah.
appreciate it when it's happening. No, I feel like that's a newfound territory for the most part. E-boards, like it's an unregulated market at the point. Like, yeah, there's a few big names that are making out or cranking out, you know, boards
Yes,
that a lot
dude.
of people have reviewed and they're well known. There's also a lot of no name, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of sifting through.
Well, that's
all
like
the,
for
all
real.
the crap.
Like this board the motor basically that I ordered is virtually unknown in the e-board community. Like, I don't really see much about it. It's kind of starting to pick up a little bit, but it's like one of the cheapest ones you can possibly buy.
Haven't
It's great.
ridden the Virreal and the Boosted. Like, I will say they're comparable.
Yeah, they
You
are.
know,
They're
like,
close.
I can't say anything about the battery range.
Yeah, it's similar.
But Boosted still has a beat on acceleration though, man.
Acceleration, but see, one thing I like about the difference between, all right, so I guess we should lay this out. Basically, every e-board company in the world is trying to compete for second place to Boosted.
Boosted is the gold standard
Yeah.
currently when it comes to e-boards.
Yeah, any electric skateboard will always be compared to the Boosted
At least
board.
for the time being.
Yeah,
the next
until
big
somebody
thing
makes
comes
something
out.
that's better, for sure.
I mean, and there's people who mod their own boards to the next level, and like, yeah, they can make something faster
Yeah.
than Boosted. But Boosted, for like what you get out of the box, they are the title.
Yeah,
holder
and they
for
are like, it's
top
just
of the line.
the
stock board.
ingenuity is incredible with Boosted. Like, down to the deck fibers, like it's bamboo deck. They burn in their logo. The hardware is great. The design is just amazing. But you can buy boards for like a fifth or sixth of the price that can kind of keep up with it. And I would actually, I don't know, one thing that I enjoy about my board versus the Boosted is the hub motors. They don't sit nearly as low to the ground, so you don't catch rocks, and you can also coast. Like, you can push it like a normal longboard.
But you've already damaged one of the hub motors.
True.
Did you
True.
just like nail a curb and crack the wheel or something? Like,
Dude,
how did that happen?
I think it's just because my guess would be when I'm going over a crack, like on my way to work, I have to hit a couple sidewalks. I try to stay in like parking lots and back streets mostly, but you know, when they lay sidewalk, every like fifth square, there's a wider gap, and sometimes it's like a pretty big crack. And so I do this thing in the skateboard world. It's known as a bump hump. Whenever you kind of like take the weight off your feet and kind of like hop, but don't like jump, and so that when your board hits the crack, it just kind of jumps up. But all four wheels will just bash into that crack and it bounces the board up. But for me, it's like easier to do that than just to hit the crack head on and like possibly lose your balance. It's like, it's an easier way to get over the crack if you know what you're doing. But I think it may be a little too hard on those hub motors. I'm not sure.
I think that's an inherent flaw, like having the
Yeah, because it's inside
the propulsion,
the wheel.
the propulsion built into your like, load bearing surfaces.
So
your
maybe that is,
suspension.
yeah, that's definitely a pro for the band drive motors.
The belt drives.
Belt drive, yeah. They're probably a lot more durable for taking bumps and stuff like that. But my main flaw or concern with it is that when you let off the throttle, it's like a BMW. Like it slows down
Yeah,
because those bands don't, they don't coast like the hub motors. And that's one thing that like I just really like coasting. Like I pretty much I go to the throttle full speed and then I let off of it if I'm going down a hill, and I just use it like a regular longboard at that point. But if you're on a board with the band drive motors, then it just doesn't coast like that.
Yeah, I mean, both setups will have their inherent flaws, but
which is why I think I'm getting slightly obsessed with it and want to build something at some point. I'm going to definitely ride this one for a while because I do love it, and it's like really sentimental because it's the first board and it looks way better than I thought it was going to when we started this project. And it's like, it's an awesome board, but at this point, I do want to find something that I can ride and just treat like garbage like I do a regular skateboard.
Just a tank.
Yeah, something that can just handle like any bumps, or like hell, it'd be awesome if I could actually jump with it, like jump off curbs and just
I could
tricks.
tell you right now what I would do if I were you, but that's a whole nother conversation.
What?
Get rid of all the glass fiber reinforced plastic housings for your circuit boards and your battery packs, and like get something fucking beefy.
Well, right now the problem hasn't been the housing, it's been the motors.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be doing like what you're talking about, something more intense than just like cruising, like if you want this thing to take some damage, like I feel like you could shatter one of those plastic housings.
Yeah,
if
for
you just
sure.
Nailed it hard enough. You already fucking blew out that plastic outer like retainer on your wheel.
That's metal.
That was metal?
Yeah. It's metal, what? And I broke it. It's basically like a metal material. Circle, and then it's got a layer with like spokes, but it's all metal.
I think the problem is they tried to make it too aesthetic. Because I know that's not the V1 type wheel.
No, it's not. And that's what I wonder is like Sarah's board, because she got it's like a hub cap.
Yeah, those wheels
those hold up
a lot better.
Well, they're sending me some new ones. So I hit him up, and Vic, the guy that owns that company, is really cool. And he's just like, yeah, sorry about your troubles, man. I'm going to send you some urethane. And I just really hope that means plural. Like I'm crossing my fingers hoping they don't just send me one wheel, because I'm not going to put one new wheel on a skateboard. I don't think polyurethane in that reference would plural be polyurethanes, would it? I don't know. But also, what if you're
like, if you have a stack of wood, you wouldn't say like, hey, grab me a piece of woods, or like grab me some woods.
Well, but you could say like, hey, plural. I got new urethane on my skateboard.
Yeah,
and that kind of sounds like.
Is it a language barrier thing, or are they just sending?
Well, that's what I was wondering also, because Vic, like, you can look up their YouTube videos. Like, English is not his first language, and it's a Chinese-based company. So I'm like, I really just hope he meant urethanes.
You'll find out.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll find
You may have to rock one old wheel, one new wheel for a while, but you cross that wheel when you come to it. Roll that wheel when you.
We'll roll over that crack when we get to it.
Yeah.
So what else is new? What do we got going on in the world of Lawrence, Kansas, in our lives?
We had a first duo workout sesh today.
Yeah,
I delved into the world of calisthenics.
Yeah,
I think it was good.
What do you think?
Productive. It was difficult, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of body weight pull movements, man.
Yeah. A lot of compound stuff.
Yeah, a lot of back and arms.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think you could definitely incorporate that and some other aspects and have a real solid like routine.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're you want to emphasize functional strength.
Mm-hmm.
Calisthenics all the way, man. Like moving your own body and being able to manipulate it, smoothly and uniformly, like. That in itself is essential.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's so fucking difficult,
like,
tells me, yeah, dude, that's something I should be focusing on a little more.
Yeah.
I also like never had a home gym, but and you look at the setup you have, it doesn't take much to do, calisthenics and the like.
No, it doesn't.
I have a pretty heavy background in, weight training, powerlifting, so like gotta have my racks and I gotta have my bars.
Yeah.
But there's definitely value in the calisthenics. Like, that was a fucking workout.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. And so for those of you who don't know, calisthenics is like it's a workout. It's a style of working out that's Greek. It's like the oldest form of exercise, and it's basically just all body weight movements like push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. But the more
Static
modern
holds, lots of hangs.
Yeah. The more modern calisthenics movements is really kind of based around gymnastics moves like rings and pull-ups and horizontal pull-ups and crazy stuff like that. And so Will's like a bodybuilder basically, like, or that's would you call that your style normally, is like classic bodybuilding kind of?
Yeah. I've kind of strayed from strength routines, 5x5, like dead squat, bench. Like, I incorporate those still.
Yeah.
But if you have a gym at your disposal, it's like, you got a lot of stuff you normally wouldn't be able to isolate and focus on when you step away from just free weights. Like, I have beef with machines, but there are some that you cannot do things that are proven to be effective, like, otherwise.
Yeah.
The cables especially, and being able to utilize cables like properly and not relying on them, excellent.
Yeah. I haven't usually had beef with cables. The things that I have beef with is
the
like
machines where you're just sitting there on like a chair and like
the curl machine where you just like you set your arm on this pad, so you're not even holding your arm up, and then you just pull on this one machine and do that one fluid motion.
That is kind of debatable, though.
I get
there's that particular example, but there's a lot of fluff and a lot of bullshit machines that people rely too much on that are ineffective compared to an alternative.
But I guess my argument to something like that curl machine would be that whenever you're doing it on your own versus sitting in a machine, you're just doing a regular curl, you're not isolating muscles. You're building that functional strength where you have to balance your arm and keep it stable and stuff, versus you're just sitting on a machine pulling in one direction. Like that
and the distribution
doesn't
of that
transfer
load,
over.
the distribution of the load, like when you consider your fulcrum points and your where you're bending from and the load on it, like, you can damage your joints with some machines that are commonly accepted, like leg extensions, seated leg extensions, man.
Those ones where you like just bend your legs out.
Yeah, basically. And like a lot of people do them, and like a lot of successful people have done them. Like, I'm not saying they're ineffective, but when you look at your the structure of your bones, like, and you realize the leverage being placed and distributed that way, it causes what could eventually be premature joint failures and cartilage damage, because it's the mechanical movement of it. You're just focusing on that, like, you're not really engaging your glutes or your hamstrings to like decelerate. You're literally just all knee bone, just fucking torquing it.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And you're not having to balance. You're not utilizing any stabilizers.
For me, it's like, why would you go to the gym or like spend the time working out and not just want to get the most out of every movement? So like, that's why I'm just a big fan of compound movements. I understand if you're a bodybuilder and you're like, okay, my biceps look a little smaller than,
but even bodybuilders,
and you want to isolate things. Yeah.
Even bodybuilders squat.
Yeah. Well, like, that's what I mean. They do, like, compound movements make, to me, way more sense than any isolation movement, just because you're getting more out of it. You're doing a rep and you're working more than one muscle group versus isolating one, because you're exerting about the same amount of energy.
The difference is the focus on aesthetics.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
More than
so,
anything.
yeah, it's like if you just want to have huge biceps, then just isolate your biceps all day.
You don't need to do tricep, rope push downs if you just have, like, if you bench, because you're utilizing your triceps when you're engaging your chest in that way. It's like, you don't need it. But if aesthetics are of any importance to you, then that's when you start straying from just and there are people that do like the old school powerlifting movements, just squat, bench, deadlift, hang clean, maybe jerks, split jerks, like maybe some Olympic movements like that. But outside of that, like, you're probably not going to see them doing a lot of curls. Like, and I can attest to that.
Yeah.
But
One thing I noticed or one thing I guess I took away from doing a workout together, because I haven't had a workout partner in a really long
Nor have
time
I.
since I was in when I was in high school. We had like strength training, and I would work out with people and had like an instructor and stuff, and it was kind of nice, but like the way I've been going lately, I don't really know anybody else that does calisthenics, and that's just what I'm interested in. So it's like I've just been working out at home or at the gym, and I bring my boss with me, and he's been going, so that's cool.
And you really don't need much for calisthenics.
Yeah, you don't. So there's really not even a need to go to the gym half the time. But I just noticed today, like while we were working out, that there are a few, like I would say, classic bodybuilder movements that I want to incorporate now. Like I still would like the foundation to be calisthenics, but I'm feeling like what I'm doing lately is like full body every day and stuff like that, and really trying to focus on the muscle up movement, handstands, and like trying to get those fundamental moves down. But I could probably be actually building a lot more muscle right now while I'm doing that also. So it might be smart for me to take some of your style and incorporate it into mine.
Yeah.
So that I can build strength faster but still maintain the calisthenics as the base, so that I'm still trying to learn those complex movements and stuff like that. Because that's my goal. Like I'm not looking for the numbers, the reps, the weights. Like I want to be able to just control my body in that way, like to be able to do a horizontal pull up or just hold a handstand, because I see it as like
Little
kind
milestones.
it's just kind of a yogic thing, like you can track your progress based off of what you're physically able to do and how you're able to move your body and breathe into it, versus like, oh, I can bench 400 pounds. Like that's really cool, and I'm sure you could kill me, but that's not what I'm after right now. That's kind of how I started, and I think I just got
if
burned
that's
out.
all you want to do is bench 400 pounds, more power to you.
Yeah,
man.
go for it. Yeah, I'm not judging that at all. That's just right now, that's not what I'm interested in.
Yeah, no, you had your experience with basically the first side effect of, I don't want to be too harsh, but letting yourself go in terms of your physical fitness. Like,
Yeah, no, I did. That you don't have to tread lightly there at all, dude. I got so out of shape that I coughed and I pulled a muscle. And I mean, it was even before that. I just didn't feel as good as I could at 23 or 22, I guess, is whenever it was the worst. For some reason, like not this past year, but the year like before that, I probably was the most out of shape I've ever been. And I think it's because I worked out a lot in high school and shortly after, and I never watched what I ate. And then I stopped working out and didn't stop eating whatever I wanted, and gained a little bit of weight and just felt really unhealthy.
And then you went super keto, and didn't focus on
and then I got the diet part right, but I still wasn't doing anything to build strength or mobility, and I got hurt.
Catabolic.
Yeah, I got too skinny and I got hurt, and that's just not good. Like I'm kind of in the middle of learning balance, and I feel like I've put on a few pounds. Like I don't think I don't feel as breakable as I did a few months ago. Like I literally used to feel like, oh, I'm so skinny. If I like when I was in a mosh pit, like it would feel like my rib cage was just getting bashed. Like I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Like I feel like I need more meat to protect me, but it's working. Like I actually feel better, and like my joints don't ache as much, and
that's
I'm
one thing.
Experiencing some of that.
I noticed. Because I kind of went through the same thing, just because I fell out of lifting frequently. Like I went from lifting 5 days a week to getting a full-time job, and just like not anymore.
Yeah.
After that, for probably like 3 years, and I lost like 15 or 18 pounds of like probably just pure muscle mass, because I've never me, like, I've never had any fat whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's really
whatsoever. I bet you've never been above 25%.
No,
or
like
20 even.
I think the heaviest I was like 205 around there, and I was probably like 14 or 15% body fat.
Yeah, but you've always been built with a high metabolism.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. I'll tell you.
Some people would kill.
I just want to be a big boy.
Yeah,
just a big old husky boy.
You want them gangs?
I'll be a bear. Yeah, and it's been like 2 years now that I've been back into it, and it's great. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of strange because I'm not powerlifting anymore, and it sucks. That's gonna be something that always hovers over me. That like I probably won't ever hit those numbers without like focusing on that. And the gym I'm at's really not very good for like Olympic power movements and all that because not a lot of space.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you gotta bail out of a clean and jerk because you can't get under it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like some girls fucking, I don't know, doing whatever YouTube grow your butt workout is trending that week. Exercise on like one of the only fucking incline benches that there is. And she's not even using it. She's just putting a foot up on it and doing like one-legged squats or some shit. And like there's like 2 guys that need it. Yeah, you don't want to like take her out because you accidentally have to toss the bar. And just like 275 pounds fucking comes careening at this soccer mom. Like, maybe that's just the gym I go to.
Yeah.
It's a bit compact.
Yeah.
But, you know, you work with what you got.
It's a Globo
And,
gym.
you know, I got a great blogging on it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you got a good deal.
I work with what I got, and that's kind of that's exemplified in the routes both of us take. Like, granted, the nature of calisthenics, you don't need much more than your rings and your pull-up bars and all that. But, like, you know, I got the gym. We both had different goals. I think today was fun because we both got to incorporate our own little aspects of our routines.
Yeah, it was cool. We need to do that
I think
more often.
next you need to go to the Free Fridays they have at my gym. You bring guests. You need to see the shit from my world.
Yeah, I'll come do a body weight thing.
It's not gonna be body weight. It's gonna be
not body weight, body
free
building.
weight.
Yeah, free weight. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done that, and I don't have anything against it, but it's just
like there's not. My bias has substantially decreased. I used to be a bit elitist about it, like, well, I can fucking squat this much, because like the fucking strength training alone in high school, I do that shit every year. Like you squat like fucking 3-4 times a week, and you get like 85% of your maxes every time. Like yeah, of course when you're doing that, you're gonna have that like, it's not heavyweight, it's fucking, and sometimes you gotta work backwards, man.
Yeah,
like.
That's what it feels like.
It's all about it's humbling yourself more than anything. Like you gotta let your ego take the back seat because you can fucking hurt yourself. It's not just like you're a douche.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is for me because it is like I don't know if I would have been into calisthenics as much if I wasn't into yoga first. Like I really don't think, because I just enjoy that aspect of it, of sucking at it. As weird as that sounds, like I've grown to enjoy things that I am terrible at because it is humbling. And like with calisthenics, like with doing a chin up, you can only do as many as you can do. Like, you know, versus like for me at the gym, you know, you can always go lighter and you can always do it, but it's like, you know, you have a clear goal of I can't do that. So I have to do all of these other things so that I can do that, which I know it's kind of the same thing at the gym.
Yeah, I mean, they're parallel each other.
It's a movement that I'm interested in, and it's just like it's like you're not after this is how much I want to move or how much I want to lift or how I want to look. It's just like I want to breathe and do the movements properly and actually
do it until it's easy, basically.
Yeah,
because you look at the guys who are the best at calisthenics. Like, yeah, I guess you can add more weight to your body because like progressive overload is one of the keys in weightlifting. It's like over time, yeah, your numbers will get higher. But when you're working with strictly your body weight, you only have like how long you can do something or for how many reps you can.
Yeah, and your body gets heavier the more you do it because you build muscle.
I mean, as long as you're at like a caloric surplus and you're building muscle mass, like because I mean, it's just like
so that's probably another way that it's humbling in itself is that no matter how big you get, you're lifting yourself, so it's gonna get harder the bigger you get too. So it's like you're. A dude that weighs 400 pounds versus somebody that weighs 150, can probably do a similar amount of chin-ups if they're in shape, because that 400-pound guy's got way more to lift. So it makes sense that like you kind of stay within a certain parameters.
I've
You're
never
not going to
seen
be that guy with a
400-pound
huge stack.
man do chin-ups.
Dude, I don't think I have either, to
I don't
be
even
honest.
know if that's... there's probably a guy out there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe I should, maybe like 200, 250.
I guarantee there's guys who can like wide grip cable pull down 400 pounds, but you give me a man who weighs 400 pounds.
See him do
that.
I wonder.
Heaviest
Wait,
man to do a pull-up.
How much is that Juji Mufu guy weigh?
He's like 250, 260, I think.
If you guys want to see a crazy dude, Juji
Just the best of
Mufu.
both worlds right here.
Yeah, he really is, because he's got the flexibility and the mobility, but he's
Juji
also
Mufu.
gigantic, and he's crazy in like powerlifting and stuff.
Yeah, does strongman stuff now. The guy's just like completely stacked, and he started a movement that, I don't know if he started it, but tricking. Basically, stationary flips, and like he does karate or taekwondo, I believe.
Yeah.
So he incorporates kicks, like spinning back kicks and like 720, spins and all that.
Yeah,
But
I feel
the
like
guy
he
went
just-
from doing that to bodybuilding, but he kept being able to do that.
Yeah.
So he's like a 250-pound man just stacked who can do, like handsprings, backflips, front flips, like aerial kicks.
yeah,
It's such a strange thing to see.
yeah. It really is, to see a dude that big like do like an aerial, like a 360 freaking backflip.
He's
or something
super
crazy.
intense too, strong as hell.
Yeah,
Juji Mufu. You can find him on YouTube. He does vlogs.
you'll be amused.
Typically pretty funny.
Be very amused.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, exercise is becoming a part of my life. I'm pretty stoked.
I'm
about
glad.
it. Yeah,
I'm glad.
yeah, it's cool.
I feel like at one point, whenever like we would talk about it, like, yeah, I'm biased because I've lifted weights for years, but like whenever we would talk about it, you would say something to the effect of like, yeah, but I don't really care about how I look. But it's like,
Yeah, that
it
really
goes
is,
hand in
yeah.
hand almost.
No, I did. I
And
had
I feel like that
sort
was
of-
an excuse almost to like, well, I don't really need to like do that because I'm
Yeah.
not trying to like get
It was
big.
a cognitive dissonance
Yeah,
that I
guess you'd
had
say
for
that.
a long time, because I'd never.
And it's
like-
you're not going to get huge by accident. Let me fucking tell you that.
Yeah, no, it's true. I guess I just always thought, or I thought for a while, that if you just eat right and you move and you're not like sedentary, that you're not going to be unhealthy.
All that's going to do is make you not overweight for your
Yeah, you're just going to look
index.
average size. You're not going to be overweight or underweight, but you won't be strong. Like, and that was kind
Is
of
it
the base
wrong
of the
to be
realization.
strong?
No,
No, it's not.
I think it's
I think it's empowering.
I think not that it's wrong to be weak, but it's not very beneficial to be weak. And
I think
mentally too.
I'm
It's the mental part is where the strength comes
I'm going to
from.
go there as a male. I would like to say on behalf of males, I think it's crucial for like good mental health almost.
I wouldn't
Like,
say that for males.
For anybody, I will say that, okay? But
yeah, I was gonna say for anyone, not
Yeah,
just
like being
males.
physically
for
fit,
anybody. Yeah,
But like in particular, men, I bring up, is it wrong to be strong? Like you can't deny the fact that like it feels good to be capable,
it does.
and I feel
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and that is that mental
It's a
thing.
good state
but
of
I mean,
mind.
that's even been proven. Like that Steve Alardi guy we were talking about a long time ago. Like it's been proven that jogging for 30 minutes is several times a week is 3 times more effective than antidepressants.
And it's not just jogging; that's an example for the easiest thing you could do.
Yeah.
Just physical
It's
activity.
just saying that choosing to do something that is for you, for your health, for your benefit, to make you a better person. If you challenge yourself in that way, your brain releases epinephrine, endorphins.
I don't doubt
like
it.
it releases all these chemicals. You get that good feeling, and you, in a weird way, kind of do become a better version of yourself.
Yeah, you get a good pump going, and like
Yeah.
you look at yourself, and you're just like, wow, insta gains there.
Yeah.
for the time being. Your blood, your pulse is elevated. And
that is true. It's
you're
like we have a
just
built-in way to know when we're doing good, because it's like you get the swell and you're like, dang, I wish I could look like this all the time. So you want to go do it again.
And the place your mind goes to.
Yeah.
You get into it. It's just,
it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff. I'd recommend it to anybody. Give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. So we were talking about starting a fitness video series or like just exercise fitness, whatever.
I don't know. Like, to be honest, I feel like
gym vlogs.
We've gone so many different directions with this podcast already.
Not?
Yeah, I don't even know what my listeners, in quotations, like, I don't know. There is definitely a set, like, there's a group of people that listen to every episode, and I love you guys.
And God bless them.
But I go mentally in a lot of different directions, so it wouldn't surprise me if I lost some people, gained some people there, because I'm really interested in this kind of mind and body health type of thing lately, and the human optimization is the word for it. Like I've really kind of conquered the diet thing mentally. Like I love eating things that are actually good for me. It's a wall that it was a big wall to get over, but I actually enjoy it now. And then same, I'm getting that way with exercise. And, I've always been into kind of the mental aspect of like spirituality and things like that. So we've been talking about trying to create some type of program, like, and it's kind of been in the works, and not in the works, but like in the air for a while, where people have said like, hey, you should do this, or you should do more to help people or teach people or do something like that. So one outlet for that could be like, if other people are interested in trying to get healthy or trying to get in shape, like we could definitely help with that by making some videos or writing some articles about what's beneficial to us, or like I feel like you will specifically have like a ton that you could contribute to the whole building muscle and losing fat and just like getting healthier and exerting yourself, because you've been working out a lot more steadily than I have for a lot longer than I have. And you did powerlifting in high school, and you've been an athlete for a really long time. And even after high school, when you had a full-time 40-something hour a week job, you've still managed to incorporate going to the gym like regularly, which is hard to do.
I got out of shape, and then I got back into it.
Yeah. And that's awesome. I mean, that's the hero's journey, man. That's everybody's great transformational story. But you have a lot of those in your life. Over yet. Yeah, you have tons of those, but that was one of them that you could offer a lot of insight to.
Yeah, and I mean, that's, if you want to talk about the actual end yield, I think that is one thing that I can contribute to, because it's like, yeah, if you stick to this, it's a fact that you're going to be in better shape. Mm-hmm. We talk about philosophy a lot, and even in, exercising, there's philosophy to be had. But the actual study of the movements themselves and having a good understanding of, how it all ties into what your body is, made to do. Basically not hurting yourself, doing it right, and sifting through all the bullshit information and...
Yeah, because there's so many people that just want to sell products or sell this certain style of movement, and there's all these different brands.
Just fucking pick to something, stick to it. You don't need to buy fucking... Yeah, it's always a good idea to have whey protein, supplement your diet. Don't just like eat mass gainers instead of meals, obviously.
Yeah.
Like pre-workouts and all that, man, fuck that. Like,
eat real food still.
Yeah.
That's important.
And I agree. Like, that's definitely something that's solid I can talk about. There's nothing there that's like, heavily debated. Like, it's proven stuff that was taught to me, and like, just the basics. Like,
and like in terms of
you're that guy here with like this new age calisthenics, and I accept that.
Yeah,
I accept that. But
it's not that. That's what's weird though is. That's so weird. I'm seeing so many parallels between this and like the whole hippie movement type things. They call that new age too.
Yeah, that was a bit biased.
Ancient things, and that's what calisthenics is. It's becoming a new wave thing, but it has its roots in Greek. I mean, it's Greek for strength and beauty. It's like it is the first way that people were able to work out before we were able to make weights and dumbbells and equipment and stuff like that. It's like you move your body.
I should more accurately say I hate the people who are huge proponents of it as the end all be all solve to your problem. Like all the other stuff
CrossFit.
I'm talking about. Thank you. I was gonna say I hate more so the people that tout it. Like
no, it's an ideology. It's like being vegan or religious or whatever.
You look at you look at the elite CrossFitters, and I guarantee they do a lot of CrossFit calisthenic movements and all that shit. Like, but they're squatting heavy, they're benching heavy, they're doing heavy weight movements. They're not doing kipping pull-ups and team deadlifts, and they're not being coached by.
It's so funny. I heard
nobody
I heard somebody say that CrossFit is literally just calisthenics, but with a way better brand. That's what it is. It's all body weight movement. It's calisthenics.
It's not all body weight movement. That's when it gets scary, is that they do free weight movements and terrible ones at that.
Really?
Like
I have seen a lot of kettlebell stuff in the CrossFit.
I'm talking bars and weights. Like you're familiar with a clean and press, right? Like hang clean up to your shoulders, and then you do a overhead press.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called specifically, but you have two people, one person on each side of the fucking bar, and it's like a team lift. It's the dumbest thing I have ever seen. Like two people trying to synchronize, like get one guy and just make him fucking focus on this movement. Like what does anybody gain from two people lifting on the same bar in synchronization? Sometimes it'll be like a guy who's like 5'6" and a guy who's like 6'3", and one of their fucking elbows will just buckle, and like just look up CrossFit fails.
Yeah, that's how you
and
get
you realize how little guidelines they have for employing or allowing people to be trainers for this. I don't know the system.
Yeah.
Or if you have to be certified or what.
Yeah.
But CrossFit has become a joke because of how terribly some of these people are trained.
Yeah. Dude, it's so hilarious. It's what it is though, is it's not even so much that there aren't valuable things from like the original CrossFit program.
No, like a good CrossFit coach, like they're championship games, whatever. You look at those dudes and like they're doing some intense high
there's a lot of cool
workouts.
stuff there. It's the it's the demographic of people that it attracts. It sounds weird, but like
let's just say they have like a top 1%, and the rest probably falls under what we're describing as that like joke.
Yeah,
like it's probably few and far between getting good actual like solid coaching and fundamentals.
I work with this guy that I think it's his uncle. He owns a gym in Kansas City. It's like this really nice private gym, and they kind of branded at first as a CrossFit type gym, and he got so sick of it that he's like, I want real, like I want legit people in here that want to train, that want to get
someone's
good.
Like, I heard about CrossFit on the internet.
Yeah, and so they rebranded it as like I can't even remember, like a military style working out thing or something. And like they changed their brand completely so that it wouldn't attract CrossFit people anymore. And it turned into like a really nice private gym, like where people actually do a lot of like legitimate training and stuff. But it's the same workout programs. Like they're doing the same stuff, but the people there are more serious about it because it doesn't have the CrossFit brand on it. It's funny. Yeah, it's hilarious. Like that makes sense, I guess, if that's not the style of gym you want.
So look at Planet Fitness. They literally make their money off banking that people don't use membership.
Their primary membership.
It's only $10 a month, but you get enough people. They don't even go to that.
Yeah,
gym.
they don't
have to worry about it. Like,
and it's like pretty empty when you're there most of the time, which is great if you actually want to work out there though, because it's usually not that packed and it's like pretty chill. I actually worked out there for a while when I lived in Nashville.
It's cheap. That's all it's got going for it. But even so, like the community,
I mean, the stuff's nice though.
Rock Chalk Park, granted, it is a much smaller weight room, but it's what you can get there is probably a lot better just in that small section. I feel like.
Have you been in Planet Fitness though?
I've seen the insides of them, not the one here in town though.
Oh, I mean,
some of them don't even have squat racks, and that's what really fucks with me. I'm saying some of them don't.
Yeah, there might be, but every one that I've ever been in has everything that you would ever need. It's got free weights, they have racks, they have pull-up bars, they have machines that go in a giant circle where you can get a whole body workout apparently, which is avoid that whole section because it's pointless, but they have some stuff. You know what gym is awesome here in town is the Summit. I don't even know where that place is. It's on 9th and Mass or New Hampshire.
Oh, is that one that's the ground floor of that?
Yeah, the little complex, coffee place or some. it's got like a cafe attached to it, I think. But dude, that gym is cool. They have like monkey bars. They have like a little parkour section. They have like all the bodybuilding stuff. They have a boxing.
You got to go to Genesis, man. I told you about that adult jungle gym they have.
Oh
upstairs.
yeah, that sounds awesome.
Sorry,
that sounds awesome.
I interrupted you.
No, you're good. They have everything though.
I wonder how much does membership cost at Summit?
I don't know. I think it's gone up. It was like when I was paying, it was like 30 something a month, but I think it's gone up since then.
That's not terrible.
I've heard you can talk them down sometimes. I don't know.
That's not terrible.
Yeah.
Still overpriced. Yeah. Gyms are overpriced.
Where are we at on time? I don't know. This is kind of a last minute type of episode. We didn't plan anything out. Oh, dude, I didn't even bring up what I said I was going to bring up yet.
What?
Wild Wild Country.
Oh, shit.
I watched that documentary series you told me about.
Netflix, Wild Wild Country.
Yes.
Watch it.
Oh my gosh, dude. We have to, like, I think everyone needs to watch that because it's just such an example of how anything so, like, pure, like a beautiful teaching can turn into something so bizarre.
Here's the best way to put it. If you're somebody who believes that the good nature of humans will always prevail, watch this and you will have your perceptions just hurt.
Yeah. Okay,
you'll be salty.
You should lay it out for me like you did when you were telling me about it. Telling me to watch it. So what is Wild Wild Country about?
Well, you watched it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Basically, okay. To rewind, the reason to me I think it's so interesting is the fact that nobody has like talked about this. When I saw this is like the first time I'd ever heard that this had happened. A small cult, it became a cult. Initially, it was a following of a guru named Osho or
Bhagwan Rajneesh.
Yeah, Bhagwan Rajneesh had some followers, and his followers came to the U.S. and Oregon, right outside of Antelope, Oregon. Yeah, and they bought property, and like thousands of them started pouring in. They built a huge compound with the goal to build a city, Rajneeshpuram, and they eventually even got their own fucking.
They did.
Billing, or was it zip code?
They incorporated as a township. So it only takes 150 people to incorporate and declare themselves as a town, basically.
Yeah,
and they did that, and then they ended up buying the city of Antelope.
And these people who had these intentions to build a city of like-minded individuals who basically lived cooperatively, and they had engineers. They had huge amounts of money because so many people genuinely believed in this guy's followings.
And what blew my mind is like just how beautiful it was. First.
Initially I feel like it started out there was no it wasn't about the money. No. He actually just attracted so many people who were left their jobs in the real world.
Yeah, and so
Rajneesh do this for his goal.
How do you think of Rajneesh? Like,
I think
this is the messiah figure in this story that people literally worship. He already has like thousands of followers and compounds all over the world at this point. But in 1981, they come to America. And
I think they were initially based out of India.
Yeah, but they show the map, and there's some in like almost every continent has a few of those little compounds that follow his teachings because it works really well in the compounds. Like they actually do have no crime.
It started out that way.
Yeah, it does. It's like if the people uphold his teachings, then it really is a good thing.
It was beautiful watching this because one of the weird things is that in retrospect, it gets fucking dark. Mm-hmm. But keeping that in mind, like for whatever reason, these people video recorded everything, the entire building of this city, which is really cool because they had access to all this footage in this Netflix series. Highly recommended again.
Yeah.
But you watch it and it's like, wow, like these aren't just people who were desperate and like they needed a place to stay and just wanted to fit in. These are guys who were making like 7 figures a year and they left it all behind to donate their talents towards the building of this city. And like it seems so innocent and pure at first. And you watch it and you're like, wow, this is what it looks like when people actually work together. Yeah. This is in 1981 to 85 this is going on. So it's like that's pretty, that's not too far off in the scale of things.
Well, at first, for the first few episodes, you kind of hate America. You're like, wow, like these people literally, they came in, they did everything legally, they didn't break any laws. They created a society that was virtually violence free.
The problem, I think, with this particular instance, though, was it was at the roots, like from the get go, and that's why I say like the nature of people, because there are always going to be manipulators.
See, that's what I was going to ask.
One of the key characters in this series.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I'm not going to delve into that too much.
Is Rajneesh? Were his teachings genuine, or is he a mastermind at creating followers for power?
I did
because
a little bit of
seem
research
like he wanted
into
the
it.
power.
No, I think he was just happy to be there.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
He never really asked for anything. In fact, he took like a 3-year vow of silence.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even speak, and that was a big mistake. You'd understand why if you watch this series.
Well, what sounds weird is I think that was strategic on his part, because I don't think he had any more to teach at that point. Like he had already written all of his books, and his teachings are profound. It's kind of those fundamental truths.
See, that's where I kind of get a little iffy. You have to think at this time, this was all new to Westerners. Like this was the first time that anybody had taken all of these old teachings and made them easily digestible and made almost a branded religion.
Yeah.
And okay, there is some profound knowledge there, but for the most part, he's literally just skimming off the surface of every Eastern theism and tradition and philosophy, and just kind of jumbling it all together in a contradictive mess. Because that's one of the biggest criticisms is that there's really not a whole lot of direction or continuity amongst his teachings. Like he multiple times like contradicts himself just because he kind of just touches mostly on ambiguity, and it's strategic.
You think so?
Yeah.
See, I don't know, because a lot of what like I heard him say, and see, I guess I haven't dug into his actual teachings enough to hear the contradictions, but it just sounded kind of Jesus or Buddha, Muhammad, Alan Watts.
Like I said, he just kind of skims off the top of everything and just jumbles it together, and sometimes it doesn't work. But my point is,
can't disagree with using fundamental truths as a teaching, and if people call you their guru, sorry, like, I think that's just what happens.
That was my point. Like at the core of it, in the time period, people ate it up, and that's why I think it took off.
That makes sense.
You know,
kind of like the Alan Watts thing, the same way. He blew up because he made
it's
Eastern philosophy comprehensible for Americans, and it was a beautiful.
It's like the beat movement. It was like two guys, you know.
Which one?
Burroughs and Ginsberg and Burroughs. Like those two authors and poets. Like they're pretty much all the beat movement was attributed to them. It was like, does two poets a movement make? But you know, like it's remembered as a huge thing.
Yeah. So
because at the time people were just like, I'm into that.
Yeah. So let's move along in this story. Of the Rajneesh. So
people get obsessed, especially if it's something fresh to them. And these people were so involved in this that they ended up doing terrible things in the name of this I don't know, lifestyle, I guess you'd call it.
Only a few of them though, but the majority of the city, they actually just want to live there and like.
It also got fucking weird, I think, because that's one of the issues too, is that because there was no real format or structure whatsoever, because all of his teachings were so ambiguous, like no one really knew, like there weren't really any rules on how to live, and people kind of adopted their own because there was nothing really clearly set out because of how wide-ranging his teachings actually were. There are no specifics, and there's a lot of contradictions. People are like, well, I guess we're gonna have these violent orgies, and
well, I think that was kind of because of some of Rajneesh's teachings, but
that's where it led eventually. It started out innocent, and things just got weirder and weirder as it goes.
I did think like, okay, I couldn't see Rajneesh participating in some of these practices because they did some pretty weird stuff, but at the same time, learning from people like Aubrey Marcus and Chris Ryan and Duncan Trussell and like some of my favorite, who I would call philosophers and teachers, but mostly comedians and writers and stuff. They do some things that are along those lines that are sort of like a, you know, an ego practice or a spiritual pursuit. And I respect those things. While it may look crazy from the outside, there are a lot of spiritual practices that like I don't particularly do and I'm not that interested in doing, but I will admit you probably do take something from it. So there's a lot of his teachings where I'm like, that's not my style, but let them have their style. Let them do what they want.
I think the issue is that he was making a lot of it up on the fly.
Yeah, probably.
So it's like there really is no like deeper meaning to it other than,
I don't know though, because what he said about me being awake, like he said, I'm not your teacher. I am nothing special. I'm just awake, and my goal is to teach you to be awake. And how many to raise consciousness, and that
sounds like Jesus. That sounds like Buddha.
That's what
that
I
sounds
mean.
like every
But that's,
and how hard would it
all he is a guy that tried to portray that idea and then wrote some books and gave some lectures about how he achieved that himself. But
there's nothing particularly profound about it, I think.
Did he achieve it though? Like that's my question. And see, the
thing was a failure in the end because there was no direction.
And this is why I think he took the vow of silence, is because it's very beneficial for a messianic figure to die. No, they have to die. They have to. If they're alive, the movement will never work. It'll get political. It will get political either way. Christianity is just as political. But like when the figure dies, it kind of sets what they did and said in concrete, and then you can't really change it from that point. So I think that he was just like, well, this is the time that I like where that should happen. So I'm gonna take a vow of silence, and so all you guys have are my past teachings. And then he becomes a messianic figure. He becomes like God at that point, because people, they know that they can't speak to him, just like Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad. Like they idealize him instead of just talking to him, you know?
I think y'all should watch it for yourselves.
Yeah, true. We got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
This is getting crazy.
Yeah,
but
this is getting wild.
I just wanted to bring that up because I think everyone should watch it, and it's like, it's just crazy. It was incredible. And it was worth having a conversation about, because it's
it'll make you feel weird about people in general.
Yeah,
in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it is. It was kind of a disappointing ending, but it's real life, and that's what happened. And like
it happened in our history.
It happened in America somewhat recently, and I've never heard of it. Why weren't we taught that in history?
It was wild, dude. Like, learn about this ish.
Yeah. So I don't think I have anything else going on that we need to cover. I don't know. I think we're good.
I think we're good.
This is a fun conversation.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah. Thanks for bearing with us.
Heck yeah. Woo. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this experience. I hope that you follow the Better Ideas podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Mostly Instagram, probably. Probably Twitter. Twitter's probably better. Or YouTube. There's YouTube. You could leave a 5-star rating on iTunes. That would be ideal, actually. Yeah, do that. Or go to patreon.com/betterideas, and you can contribute monetarily, or you can just see everything there. Basically everything. So, yeah, you guys have a good week.